Good morning, Ithaca. Today we have a story coming out straight from the palace of King Odysseus and Queen Penelope themselves. Queen Penelope's suitors were found dead after the contest for the queen's hand in marriage, the only known survivors being the minstrel Themis and the herald Medon. Interesting. Witnesses say that the killer was the supposed fallen war hero and the king of Ithaca, Odysseus. Anonymous reports say that after the war, he began his long journey home, fighting Poseidon' son, Polyphemus, also known as the fearsome monster, Cyclops. Spending a year as the witch goddess Circe's lover, visiting the underworld, surviving the dangerous duo Scylla and Charybdis, and losing his entire crew after they made dinner out of Helios's sacred cattle. Not good. He ended up on the nymph Calypso's island and was last suspected to be in Syria. Is he in Ithaca now? We report live to our reporter, Chip, on the scene. Chip, what do you see?
We're here on site of the slaughter. Surprisingly, there are no bodies or blood to be found, but we do have one of the axes left over from Penelope's contest, as well as the bow that was used and a few arrows, as you can see. As far as what happened in the slaughter, we don't know that yet. We do have a witness, Euryclea, nurse of Odysseus. She claims she was there, and she's going to tell us her rendition of what happened. Well, I walked outside to see quite the bloody scene. Looked like someone took a squirt gun full of ketchup and squirted it everywhere. But King Odysseus came up to me. He said, which of the maids were unloyal? So I told him, and they had them all clean up the bodies and the blood, and then... So you claim that the killer was, in fact, King Odysseus? Sure is. You see, he had this little scar on his leg, and earlier I was washing his feet, and I saw the scar, and I almost had a heart attack. And I was like, oh! But he grabbed me, and he said, if you tell anyone, I'm gonna kill you. So I did my lips tight as a drum.
Yes, we now have confirmation that Odysseus was involved in the massacre. We also have new reports from the palace minstrel Themis, who claims that he was actually in the midst of the battle. Chip?
Well, I was just sitting there begging like a dog. Odysseus was about to send me down to Hades, but Telemachus, Odysseus' son, he pointed to me. He's like, Dad, he's innocent, and he let me live. So you're saying that you were the only survivor? Well, it was me and the herald Medon, thanks to Telemachus, Odysseus' son, but otherwise, everyone else was a goner. So you mentioned that Telemachus was also present. Did he partake in the murders as well? King Odysseus, Telemachus, Odysseus' son, Eumaeus the swineherd, and Philotius the cowherd. Well, there you have it. There were in fact 4 killers involved in this massacre, one being King Odysseus and one being Telemachus, Odysseus' son.
Now we move on to Eupithes, father of Antonius, one of the suitors killed in the massacre yesterday.
So Eupithes, you arrived here with many other families of the suitors. How do you plan on taking your revenge?
We're gonna kill them all. No one, king or not's gonna get away with this murder. We heard they're hiding over at Larity's farm, so we're gonna march over there and spill some blood.
That concludes our coverage on the Palace Massacre today. Thanks for watching, and we will be right back after a short commercial break.